Hey guys, how you doing? My name is Lena and welcome to another video. So today we are once again in the position of the new releases. So let's just go straight ahead because we have a good amount of books releasing this month. So I tried to narrow the list down a bit to the ones that I was just interested in or the ones that you might be more interested in. So yeah, we are not going to cover all of them. My god, next time you see me, I might have short hair. I haven't decided yet, but it's driving me insane these days. So as the last time, we are going to organize this by genres, and within the genres we're going to organize it by date of release. So let's just start up real quick with YA fantasy. I don't know if I've ever said this, but I link all the books, the Goodreads page for the book in the description, in case you're wondering. But yeah, the first book that we have on September is Blood and Honey by Shelby Maudin. This is book 2 after Serpent and Dove. But yeah, apparently it's kind of a fantasy inspired by France. But yeah, I don't really know much about it. And again, we're not going to go in depth with the sequels because we have more than 30 books today, so it's going to take a while to go through all of them. Then we also have Cemetery Boys by Aidan Thomas. We follow Dadriel? Is that how it's called? He wants to prove to his family that he is actually a real brujo. And he basically decides to summon the ghost of his dead cousin. But instead of that, he resurrects the bad boy of the school, Julian. So yeah, they are both going to team up and try to find out what happened to Dadriel's cousin. Then we have Queen of Bolts by Amanda Foody. This is book 3 in the Shadow Game. I'm always been kind of curious about Ace of Shades. Do you think that it's worth it? Will I like it? I don't know, but the final book is coming out on the 1st of September. Then another sequel, we have As the Shadow Rises by Katie Rose Poole. This is book 2 in the Age of Darkness. I actually own the first book. I'm quite intrigued by it, so I'm really excited to read it. If any of you have read it, please let me know if it was good. I have a ghost in my house. Then let's move to the 8th of September. I almost said November for some reason, but September. We have another sequel, Iron Heart by Nina Varela. This is book 2 in the Cryer's War. I've heard amazing things about Cryer's War, and I kind of thought that this was going to come out later. Didn't just Cryer's War came out a bit ago? It's been a year already. But yeah, I've always been really interested in Cryer's War. I still need to buy it, but still. Then a sequel that I'm really excited about is When Villains Rise by Rebecca Schaffer. This is the final book, I think, in the market of monsters. I have already read the first 2 books. I love them so much. They are more of a urban fantasy where monsters are real and they live among us. There are teams hunting them. The marketing for this one was Dexter meets Victoria Schwab, and I actually think that is so accurate. But yeah, I really like this. I'm so excited. Then on the 15th of September, we have Legendborne by Tracy Deon. So in this one, we are going to follow Brie. Her mother just died and she enters this residential program when she actually witnessed a magical attack on the campus. A monster is feeding on human energies, and she finds out that they have this secret society called Legendborne where they hunt magical creatures. Perhaps there's more to the death of Brie's mother what the police thought, and perhaps it's also related to Legendborne. So she is going to infiltrate this society. It sounds great. I've been keeping an eye on this book for a while, and I'm just so excited to actually read this. Then again, another sequel. This is the month of the sequels. We have The Silvered Serpents by Rosanne Chusky. This is the second book in the Gilded Wolves. I don't really have like an interest in this book, but perhaps you are interested. This is more of a historical fiction fantasy set on Paris about a heist. That's the only thing that I know. Then on the 29th of September we have one of my most anticipated reads for the year. Even though I have never read any Naomi Novik, I'm just super excited to read A Deadly Education. So the rules in this school are pretty simple. Either you graduate or you die, and you cannot walk the halls alone because you have to be aware of the monsters lurking in the shadows. And I don't know, but this sounds so good. The magical school that's really cool. Like in Vita Nostra. Vita Nostra is so cool. I'm just so excited for this one. Then I didn't put a section of mystery thrillers in my last video because there weren't that many, but I mean, October is coming, Halloween is coming, spooky season is just right up on the corner, so we have a section for thrillers now. The first one is When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole, and this came out on the 1st of September. So in this one we're going to follow Sydney. She really loves her neighbor, but something starts to change when almost every day one of her neighbors just kind of vanishes. Then is when she finds Theo, and both of them are going to start investigating the history of this neighbor, and they might find out something is really actually wrong with this place. So yeah, it sounds pretty interesting. I'm just so curious about this one. Then I won't go into much detail with this one because I think that is the way to go. This is Interference by Brad Parks. This is about a scientist basically investigating about quantum physics. Especially, he's been really into the quantum universe. But everything starts to go south when one day Matt disappears and his wife is set to find him. But yeah, I'm just really curious. I think that this is going to be like a Blake Crouch type of book, so I'm really excited. This one, I won't lie to you, I only read like the marketing line and I was just so sold. This is The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. It's perfect for the fans of Knives Out, and I just really like that type of movie, so I was so sold immediately on this. So basically we're going to follow Avery, and she had no idea that she was actually related to this guy told Tobias Hawthorne. He dies and he sends this testament saying that if they want this kind of gigantic fortune, they have to go to his house, and he was kind of obsessed with riddles, puzzles, and this kind of thing. So I'm just so excited. I'm just so excited. I already own the audiobook for this one, so I might actually read it already. Then, a book that I have already read. This is The House That Fell From the Sky by Patrick R. Delany. This is basically about a house that appears in the middle of nowhere and is kind of enchanted. So there's this competition where if you venture into the house, you will win I think it was $1 million or something like that. So we followed these 3 different characters going inside the house. And I will leave it at that. I think that the premise was great, but I didn't really like the characters. So you do you. I mean, I didn't really love it. I gave it 3 stars. Premise was good, but nothing more apart from that. Then, jumping on the 8th of September, we have One by One by Ruth Ware. I have only read one book by Ruth Ware, The Turn of the Key, but I loved it. I loved it so much that I'm just super excited to get into another of her books. And especially because this is one of those books where a group is trapped in a house. And so perfect, so perfect. So yeah, the only thing I know is that we have this group of co-workers locked inside this house and they cannot trust each other. So I'm just so excited. I'm so here for this one. I'm so here for this one. And then I have a cozy mystery for you. We have Murder at Hotel 1911. But yeah, this is a cozy historical mystery about a hotel clerk that turns amateur detective. And I think that is going to be just like the perfect book for afternoon of reading, where you're just like, yeah, I'm going to finish this book. Yeah. Then I'm adding this one here, even though this is more of a horror type of book. This is Horrid by Katrina Leno. I've been following this book for a while because it's apparently a mixture between Stephen King and Agatha Christie, which sounds amazing. In Horrid, we follow Jane and her mother. After the death of her dad, they all move into her mom's old house where she grew up, and it's kind of this decrepit, really creepy house, basically. As they investigate the story of the house, something starts to go really, really weird. So I'm just so excited. Yes, I love this concept so much. Well, then, without further ado, let's just jump into adult fantasy. So for the 1st of September, we have Kings of Heaven by Richard Neal. This is book 3 in Ash and Sand, which I still haven't read, but I actually owned the first book. So I'm always a bit iffy with pirates. I'm not really sure if I'm going to like it, but I'm really curious because it had so many good scores. I'm not sure if it was an SPFAO book, but I remember that it was advertised somewhere. But yeah, it's a dark fantasy, so I'm still really curious about it. Then on the 8th of September, we have The Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Seward. I'm so excited for this one. So in this one, we basically follow Lena, and she is the daughter of the Emperor. But he refuses to basically recognize her as his daughter. So she decides to master this kind of forbidden magic called the Art of Bone Shard, which sounds so cool. But yeah, there's basically a revolution going on, and she will have to choose what she's going to do. But yeah, I'm just so excited for this one. The ratings for this already are so incredible. I want it. Then we jump straight ahead into the 15th. We have a sequel, The Trouble with Peace by Joe Abercrombie. This is book 2 in the Age of Madness, which is actually set on the same world as the First Law trilogy and all of his other books. So I would recommend starting with A Little Hatred. Just go back to the beginning and start the series. Then on the same day, we also have The Forgotten Kingdom, which is also a continuation by Signe Pike. This is book 2 in the Lost Queen trilogy. I didn't know about this series, but I'm now kind of curious about it, even though I don't really love historical fiction. Apparently it's kind of Outlander meets Camelot, which doesn't sound that bad. But yeah, I'm curious. I'm not sure if I'm going to like it, but I'm still curious about it. Then we go into the 17th of September, and then we have Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. Susanna Clarke is the author of Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, and this is kind of more of a blend between fantasy and science fiction. So in this one, we follow Piranesi. He lives in this house where sometimes corridors are endless, rooms are infinite, there are statues everywhere, and it's fine. He just lives to explore the house. But one day, another person appears, a man called the Other, who asks Piranesi for help to uncover this, how is it called? A great and secret knowledge. This great and secret knowledge. But as Piranesi explores, he basically discovers that there might be someone else also in the house. So yeah, I'm curious about this one. I haven't really read Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. I own it, but it's just so long. It's just so long, and I'm always kind of about historical fiction, so I don't know. Then on the 22nd of September, we have this anthology called Vampires Never Get Old, Tales with Fresh Bite. And it has some short stories from Zoraida Cordova, for example. Vampires are a thing for me. Yes. Then on the 29th, there's another super cool release that I want so bad. The 29th is going to be my day. But we have a book by a Spanish author. It's actually my favorite Spanish author, but it's basically La Puerta by Manuel Loureiro. And I'm just so excited for this one. It's more of a mystery thriller combined with fantasy, but it's basically about this ritual crime, and it's really related to Galician culture, and it's where I live, so I'm just so excited. I can't wait. I literally can't wait. And we also have the new addition to the Dresden Files, Battleground by Jim Butcher. This is book 17th. 17th! if you don't know, the Dresden Files is about a wizard detective named Harry Dresden. The last one for fantasy is going to be The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. And for this one, I'm just going to read you this little excerpt that we have here. Between life and death, there's a library. And within the library, the shelves go forever. Every book provides a chance to try another life you could have lived. To see how things would be if you had made another choices. Would you have done anything different if you had a chance to undo your regrets? Yeah, it sounds amazing. I'm just going to mark here as one to read because I always forget about this. Then let's go into science fiction. This time I did separate science fiction from YA sci-fi, but there are not that many books coming out this month that I'm interested, so we're going to go through them pretty fast. So on the 8th of September we have Architects of Memory by Karen Osborne. I just want to read this one so bad. This is a new science fiction space opera. And in this one we follow pilot Ash Jackson. She lost everything after the war with the aliens, and one day her crew salvages a genocidal weapon from a ravaged starship from a dead colony, and Ash basically discovers this conspiracy going on. So I want this one. I need it. I have already pre-ordered it because I don't know, I have a feeling with this one. The other one, of course, is on the 15th, and it's going to be To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini. I mean, the author of Aragon, we know. But he just came out with this space opera that I'm just pretty interested on. Basically, we follow Kira, and during one of her routine missions, she discovers this alien relic, and then just basically war erupts in the galaxy, and she's just forced into this first contact, and I can't wait for this. I want it so much. I think that even though there are not many like science fictions that I'm interested on in this month, the ones that I have, I want so bad. I just want them so bad. Then at last I have 3 YA science fiction. The first one is coming out on the 8th of September and is The Other Side of the Sky by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. I haven't really read the other series by these 2 authors. I have read The Illuminate Files by Amy Kaufman. I really liked the first book, but I didn't like the rest of the series, so again, this is more of a mixture between science fiction and fantasy. So we are going to follow 2 different characters. The first one is Prince North. He lives in the city in the sky, which is powered by technology and engines. And we're also going to follow Nim. And she is the goddess of her people. They are both linked by this prophecy, and they will need to choose if they are going to continue with that or they are going to save their people, basically. It doesn't sound bad, but I don't think that it's going to be my type of book, if I'm being honest. Oh no, you didn't have 3, I only had 2. So, the last one is going to be Sky Hunter by Mary Lou. This is more of a dystopia type of book, and we're going to follow Taline. She is a striker, meaning she is part of this elite group fighting force that is the defense of this last free nation called Mara, who's fighting the Federation. That's such a typical name, the Federation. Which army is actually composed of mutant beasts known as Ghost. It sounds so cool. This one sounds cool. I'm kind of curious, even though I don't really like Mary Lou. I tried The Young Elites by her and didn't really like it, but I'm feeling this one. I don't know, but maybe. But yeah, those were all basically. I'm also going to leave a link down below the post that Rob J. Hayes made with some self-published books that you might be interested on. But yeah, I will link everything down below in the description. But yeah, what new releases are you really excited about? I mean, this month is going to be hard. There are like 4 or 5 books that I really want, especially The Bone Shard Daughter, the Architects of Memory, and To Sleep in a Sea of Stars. I'm just like, this is going to happen 100%. That's going to be all for today. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!